And in business, as part of its sovereign credit ratings assessments of Nigeria, International Financial Analytics Corporation S&P Global says the 650,000 barrels per day Dangote oil refinery is capable of resolving Nigeria's foreign exchange issues and also catalyze the country's economic development. This was disclosed during an on-site visit to the Dangote refinery in Lagos. S&P noted that the largest single-train refinery complex in the world would bolster Nigeria's oil and gas sector and have a positive impact on its growing economy. According to the director and lead analyst of the analytics company, Mr. Riyad Bhatia, the refinery will transform Nigeria into a net exporter of petroleum products and boost revenue generation as well as alleviate the current pressure on the country's foreign exchange reserves. Vice President Oil and Gas of Dangote Industries Limited, Mr. Devakuma Edwin, who led the team during the tour of the facility, reiterated the refinery's commitment to catalyze a vicious circle of industrial development, job creation, and economic prosperity. He promised to start the production of premium malted spirits later this month. Meanwhile, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry is commending President Bola Tinubu for setting up the Presidential Economic Coordinating Committee, tasked with the responsibility of turning around the economic conditions and repositioning the economy for growth, industrialization, job creation, and revenue generation. The Director General of the Chambers, Dr. Chinyere Amona, in a statement said the availability of an economic roadmap is a crucial ingredient for a conducive business environment, as it helps to clear uncertainties that aids businesses in the planning, while stating that the composition of the committee should boost the confidence of investors and businesses in the economy. The DG also urged federal government to pay attention to the committee's recommendations and engage as many stakeholders as possible to implement recommended policies successfully, while acknowledging and commending the government's implementation of some recommendations by other committees, such as the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms. Well, as part of efforts aimed at enhancing stronger collaborations with the financial matters, the Federal House of Representatives Committee on Commerce had paid a courtesy visit to the Financial Reporting Council in Abuja to seek ways of deepening operations of the council and to better understand its workings. The Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the council, Dr. Rabi Olowo, while receiving the delegation in his office, said the adoption of a roadmap for sustainability financial reporting standards in Nigeria will go a long way in unlocking capital flow, improve transparency across value chains. He also said this will promote corporate governance practices and lead to greater and healthier competitiveness for companies. The visit is also to further strengthen ties between the council and the lawmakers to enable them push legislation that will further improve activities of the council.
TVC adoption roadmap, we have a clear roadmap to guide companies to level up our advocacy between now and 2026 for voluntary adoption. It's still not mandatory. We want to make sure that within the next 2 years we are doing a lot of advocacy. We're doing a lot of capacity building. We're doing a lot of training, because we must learn from our journey in 2012 when Nigeria transited from the generally accepted accounting standards to the IFRS. We believe that there was improvement opportunity in guiding, capacity building, advocacy, and this is even much more serious because it has to do with our planet.
The visit is to enhance the collaborative relationship between the legislature through the committee and the executive. The committee engenders an ecosystem where ease of doing business is critical and simplified, and foreign direct investment is encouraged. The committee achieves this objective through lawmaking, constituency representation, and oversight of the ministry, departments, and agencies within its ambit.
The need to maintain automation in cargo clearance processes in Nigeria's ports operations system has been emphasized by industry leaders. The consensus was highlighted during an event which held in Lagos. TVC News senior business correspondent Ifunaya Eze reports.
After 34 years of service, Assistant Comptroller General of Customs Martina Tili-Giyado retires amidst high praise. Reflecting on the evolution of the Nigeria Customs Service, ACG Tili-Giyado retired, highlighted the transformative shift from analog to automated customs processes. She stressed the importance of maintaining compliance with trade guidelines to sustain the advancement.
Today is a different customs. You have the trader zone. You don't need to come to customs to be able to capture your entry. You don't need to come to us to pay monies. You pay into the banks, a single window, and then your job gets to the customs zone. Just for examination and release. You could do that in 48 hours now. Automation is key. I'm looking at a customs in another 10 years where a face-to-face interaction with a clearing agent will not even be necessary. I'm not looking at 48 hours in the next 10 years. I'm looking at a few hours and your cargo is out. That is if you are a compliant trader.
Others at the event echoed similar sentiment, underscoring the critical role of digitalization in port trade and advocating for continuous training of customs officers in the latest trade protocols.
They started scanning till today, and they grew scanning to where it is today. I joined automation when I became a controller. She trained me to be an image analyst. So it's 34 years ago was analog. They started automation.
A person like this, were there when things were walking in a way that were slow, things were being delayed, trade was not truly being facilitated, but they were one of those who championed the kind of movement into a digital world where things are now being done in a way that things can be profiled. You're sure of the information and data that you collect.
Meanwhile, Comptroller General of Customs Adewale Adeniyi received accolades for introducing innovative trade facilitation tools that promote automated integration and enhanced trade processes. Ifunanya Eze, TVC News, Lagos.
Finally, in business news, the stock market begins the week